YMSL Studios. Welcome to the Week 3 edition report. I'm your host, Bobby Moravia, with Max Sutton.
Here we here. Last time I was here, I had a beard coming down, so it feels good to be clean shaven and back, and they say better than ever.
Max, once again this week, cloudy, blistery Sunday. We can't seem to get those 85-degree days.
It wasn't bad. It ended up being nice, but
well, compared to opening day, it was,
right.
it was a heat wave.
That's for sure. And the fields themselves were in great condition because of the rain that happened on Friday, so much easier, and we saw some web gems because of that, so that was good.
Yeah, and on a more important note, there was an A.B. Cohen and Mo Mala sighting this week.
Both together. I heard they came in as a tag team.
They came in together, and the league took it upon themselves to have a porta-john there in case AB had his stomach virus issues once again.
Oh, boy.
So, the Indians coming in at 0-3 could not wait to see him appear on
I guess
every type of mound possible there for his liking. And
I guess it's too early to call it desperado mode, but they're obviously coming in, really trying to magic carpet ride, using A.B. Cohen to be their saving grace. Again, he was their first round pick. He was their first round pick.
They're going up against the red hot Orioles.
A very good team.
A really talented team, great lineup, and if anything, Max Shadid is back. I mean,
I heard he pitched well.
He is back. Missing a key clog in their lineup, Billy Miz.
Billy Miz.
For a good reason.
Right. We like to hear that.
Engaged Billy, and so he wasn't there, and boy, could they have used him Sunday.
Well, one thing I heard, game one, we didn't talk about it yet, but it was a final score, 2-0.
Yeah, it was actually 0-0 going to the fourth or fifth.
So Jack Jamal and Marty elected to put Mo Mala in center field, which turned out to be a very smart move that he may have earned a spot from what I hear. He may be the center fielder on that team. So Billy Miz may have gained a wife, but he might have lost the center field position.
Good job.
But
I think that only makes the outfield better.
Yeah, of course.
There's no doubt he's a great athlete, so there's no doubt he would handle
it was
good.
Talked about earlier,
and I think Billy's better left anyway. So
okay.
I think they just strengthened their team a lot in the outfield. But really, the big question with this team is the offense. Where is it going to come from?
Right. So AB came and pitched, and he pitched well. Now again, it was his first time pitching since last year, Game 5 World Series. So again, he had to get his legs back. And the MO on AB over the last 2 years was, we know he starts strong, but he gets a little tired.
Right.
He's 58 years young, but again, it's not easy. All of us get a little tired sometimes. Game 2, I heard the wheels wasn't only on him, but again, he went against a good team. The wheels came off. Right. It was, but again, it could have been 3-0. His team didn't score a run.
Yeah, I think it was actually mercied 15-0.
Ouch.
Yeah,
that hurts.
I think their second mercy on the year, but it's. Even when they have a full squad and Billy's there, I just don't see the offense.
Again, they're gonna have to get the veterans to really climb out, like the Eddie Michons and Zvi Goldbergs. They're the ones you have to rely on to open. They could do
John
it.
Also,
John, but again, John's
great, by the way.
I heard his defense was phenomenal. I heard Jordy and John both played really well defensively.
That's good to hear. Two of the
big shortstops, so that's big. Now. But in the defense, we've been saying the balls are flying and the scores have been crazy. Game 1, you have 2 pitchers, both at full force. Got a 2-0 game.
Right.
That's an old-fashioned YMSL score there.
And we talked about earlier in the year is that the ball was carrying at Fireman's East for a while.
I always get confused. East is the firehouse.
We don't even call the other one. We call the other one playground.
I get so confused already.
So we've had some crazy games over there,
which is usually not the case.
And even with the Orioles in there, they had it with their lineup. So really, AB must have pitched really strong.
Game one. And by the way, that's huge. If that team's going to have hope, you got AB pitching good game 1. You got to imagine he's going to come back stronger. And 0-5, it sounds funny, that one game that they didn't have in the beginning of the year could be a savior for them.
Yeah.
Because 1-5, you're a sweep away, or 3-5. You could always make the math. It's not easy to say these guys are in good shape and win a game. It's rough. But
you would seem to think now everybody's in place for the rest of the year. I would think Mo Mala's got his
everything's taken care of. AB's coming.
Back, and Billy Miz.
Billy Miz's wedding is in September, so he's okay. So that's true.
So they should have the rest of their team back, and
Jack
really
Jamal.
all they need is just something like a one win. If
One gets sometimes
Yeah.
that ball rolling, you
you
know?
know,
And nobody wants to be the first team to lose to those guys. We'll
Right.
see their matchup next week,
Right.
but like are we going to lose to that team? That could, hurt us. They're going to have to win low scoring games, as you mentioned, but
which is okay because
It's
they
fine.
have the pitcher for that.
Exactly.
You have the pitcher.
You're built that way.
And the defense is going to have to be there. And also we'll talk about a little later. This week is the trading deadline, so
This Friday, right?
6:00 Friday, and we'll see if they're going to be active. And
well, there've been a lot of phones ringing. I can say on my end, I've been getting a lot of phone calls. I can't take them all. Whatever. Sometimes we're busy, we're not. But there's been a lot of phone calls. We're going to take them soon. But again, that team, obviously, they're making calls. I don't know if they're going to do anything. A couple guys mentioned to me, you might have mentioned it to me too. Is it easy to trade somebody to an 0-5 team? That's also what could make a trade.
Well, if you want to make instant enemies, yes.
So it could be tough. I mean, you could say they're not out of it. You got a great pitcher, or you're helping their team. And I've seen
some Fifth Avenue salesman.
a little bit. I mean, hey, I've seen an 0-6 team with Red Nestor.
Well, how about this? How about Mo Shama,
Code
1-7 with 1-7?
That was that same team.
It
0-6, 1-7. Yeah,
they made
got to the World Series.
Yeah.
And they lost in the World Series to Ike Adid. But it was a team that was 1-7, 0-6 at one point, and got to a World Series. So we've seen it happen. And that was with Red Nestor, Aleva Shalom on the mound, not in his lights out pitching years towards the
Still,
end.
I mean, I don't even know how that team with Mo Shama started off 1-7. It must have been like
it was a disaster. But you know what? They turned it around. They had a good team. I remember them.
I remember they picked up Eshko at the trade deadline.
Steven Safdie got traded in there with Matt. There was Maurice Haber ended up going to that team, but it happens. That's what we're trying to say. It does happen.
But they're going to definitely have to, if they want to get some sort of offense, there's definitely some,
they have
players,
to trade. I mean, hey, guys, their top picks could be on the table.
Yeah.
You don't know. And again, the team that played them, the Orioles, they're strong. I mean, they're the first place team now, right? 5-1. They're a strong team. They're forced to be reckoned with, and we could clearly see that.
Well, now that Max is like back to his old form, I mean, he's
it's a question. His game that he pitched before that was against my team. He got hit pretty hard. He's getting better and better. Now we'll see. He went against a lineup that's not so strong, but I heard he was throwing well, hitting spots, pitching well. He felt great after the game. He was talking to guys. The best I felt in in over a year.
Yeah. Well, a couple of shutouts will do that.
Definitely. Iced his shoulder, and we'll see again. We'll see his next matchup, which will be a huge test to see how he's really progressing. But that's that matchup.
Yeah.
What was the other one now?
All right, so let's shoot over to Fireman's Playground, where we had Locked In with AB Saka versus the Ducks.
Ooh, so this is a very big story for the Ducks.
Yeah, well, we should mention last time we were on the air, the Ducks had Tuna Sutton as their pitcher.
Right.
And we had a trade before, we haven't been on the air since, a big blockbuster.
So right, me and Sonny, we've been talking. I got closer to Sonny over the last 3 months because we've been talking about trades, and I did it the last 5 years. It's great. But we made a trade. The Raw organization, we traded Leo Casson, starting pitcher, and Harry Braha, my short center fielder, who missed game 1 of the season, missed week 1, but played great when he came week 2. And we got in return Ralph Tuna Sutton and phenom defender AB Saruya, rookie. And we'll get to my game afterwards, but I heard Leo pitch great.
Yeah, Leo's, but actually both pitchers were struggling the first couple of weeks.
Yes.
Probably why they got traded. And so basically he gave up offense for defense. I mean, AB Saruya, great.
He's got a great glove.
Infielder.
I mean, truth is, he had some really nice swings. He had a big double in the gap too. I think he's going to be an okay hitter. We did the trade. Nothing like you said. Tuna, I know, was getting hit.
Yeah.
On Sonny's team, and Leo didn't have a great 2 weeks either. And both at their own admission, we did it to shake things up.
Yeah.
Both sides. I mean, Leo, I know,
change the scenery.
Leo's good friends with Joey Eshko. And that might be a calming presence for him. I heard he pitched really well, and it was. This is the first test AB Saka's team ever had.
Yeah. For sure.
When you say, I would say, I don't want to call it a fail. They got a win, but they really went up against a short-handed Ducks team. ABJ wasn't there.
No,
right?
ABJ came. No,
Who was missing? I know someone was missing.
Irwin.
Irwin, I'm sorry.
Out there.
Henry ended up playing shortstop, and Eshko was in left field.
Irwin and Jacob weren't there, so they had.
Okay, there you go.
Yeah.
So Irwin is a big guy on their team.
Yeah.
It was their second round pick. Henry, I mean, the way their team is constructed, I guess they didn't miss a beat defensively.
Yeah.
Harry went to third. Henry is a
Eshko
natural shortstop.
Yeah.
They put Eshko in left. He's a Gold Glove center fielder. So I guess defensively it didn't hurt him. But people say that lineup is not deep. I mean, maybe the addition of Harry was.
Well, that's why. That's why the addition of Harry was a major.
And I hear Sonny Shalom is having a resurgence hitting wise now. Heard he had a shot down the left field line, opposite field, and he did it week 1 also. That rolled into that bush. That's been a little bit of a controversy.
Well, some people have seen him with a batting coach.
Is that true?
Yes.
Well, if that's the case, it's
some
working.
of our YMSL TMZ sources. I've seen him in the cages.
All right, so I want that guy's number because Sonny, I heard, is really. I mean, I saw it.
He might have got the number from Jody LeBeau's. We don't know where he got it from.
That's the guy who played him this week. But Sonny's hitting well. Harry, I heard, hit great. You have Henry, who's that veteran, and I heard game 1 was a close game, and AB Saka's team won. I might have the games wrong. Who won which one?
No, yeah, I think game 2 was.
In game 2, the Ducks wiped out AB.
Yeah.
AB will tell you he didn't pitch great. He said, I did not have a good game, but he had a full squad and he lost.
Now, it's interesting, the Ducks. I mean, neither one of us were really high on them. A lot of people had some critics, I guess, with their lineup and stuff, but they find a way to beat AB and AB Zaka the last 2 weeks. In game 2, both.
That's right. I got to give them a lot of credit, and they did lengthen their lineup. You could say, I made the trade. I mean, I don't look at other teams when I make a trade. I'm looking at my own team to see what could shake things up. But yeah,
and playing without Irwin, no less, a second-round pick.
Right,
so
that's true. So them getting that split, they definitely walked into their cards happy.
Yeah,
with that split. And you know what? We're saying they don't have a lineup, but they already put up over 10 runs twice.
Yeah, that's exactly it. So they've gotten some good at bats.
So they're an interesting.
So they're 2 and 3.
2 and 3, which they're right in the mix.
Right.
Their one game that they didn't play yet was against my team, which is we'll talk about later.
2 and 3 with an interesting matchup coming up this week. So
right, we'll get to that. So that's good for them. I got to give them a good for them. And AB Saka's team is sort of sitting pretty because they had that 3-0 start. So they're never really gonna feel nerves unless they go on a losing streak.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
but again, like we said, this is the real first test, so you got to be a little nervous about.
The question on AB's team was, from what I hear, the Tobias boy is not the outfielder now. He's the third baseman. I think so. I think he was playing third. So is Nathan Towell.
Who was missing for them this week? There was Charles O'Reilly there. Everybody was there.
He might have been there, but I know Tobias is like their third baseman. He started the season as their left fielder.
Yeah.
So I think Nathan might be their full-time left fielder.
Really?
And not that he can't do it.
Not for 2 games. I didn't think he wanted
2 games, right? He's the only outfielder in the league.
He could.
I thought he's been catching, splitting time with. Stephen
Cornman was away this week, so that's why.
But Nathan Towell, is he the only outfielder in the league over the age of 50? I think he may be. I mean, that's an amazing thing to do. Yeah. That's incredible.
And left field, no less. So
right. There's a lot of running, and I hope he holds up the whole season. I mean, he's incredible. God willing, we all be able to do that one over 50.
But he's in great shape also.
Yeah, he is better shape than half of us. So that's true. Again, there is some question marks on that team still. And by them splitting with the shorthanded squad, puts you up in the air like where they're holding.
Yeah, they have a great matchup this week also. So let's shoot over to Dow. We'll start off with the game. I had box seats at this game. I was behind home plate.
Was it mine or the other one?
The A's.
Okay.
A's and Z-Pack. A great matchup. Jimmy Malak versus Z-Pack, who was major underhand this week.
RB, big tip of the cap to him for coming in.
First of all, they missed Zach, little Nathan Matesh, Irving Shabbat, and little Buka. So they were playing with 8.
They were all in Punta Cana, from what I hear, partying with Chamois by the wedding.
Well, no, the Buka was further from that. He was taking SATs.
Oh, gosh, I see. Okay. I saw pictures of Nathan in Punta Cana.
So they played shorthanded, but the graciousness of the A's organization to allow RB Braha
nice.
to replace him so they wouldn't get an automatic out.
Okay, very fair. Very
granted,
nice.
He came in, in his pajama pants, but still.
He had cleats on?
I think he had cleats. And,
okay,
I think there were cleats. He rolled out of bed, but whatever. With his
Truth.
Work coffee, but he was there.
From what I heard, he made almost every defensive
played great.
play.
I got to tell you, you got to give this team credit. And there were 2 great games
Naby said it was probably his best pitching he had so far. He told me he
Yeah.
felt better this week, and I think it could help that he had his dad back. As much as they were missing
Yeah.
people,
No,
Lewis
this
is
was
behind
first
the
week
plate.
back, right? Or-
Yeah, it was Lewis's first week. So that
So
could
let's
be a
just
reason.
look at the defensive alignment they had. Jackie Haber played short.
which, by the
And-
way, I
and
know he's a lefty.
He's a lefty, but he played
I'm not questioning
amazing.
it. I could see it.
They had RB at second, obviously, and Ruby Shahabar played first.
I heard he was great.
And I have to tell you, he played like a Gold Glove, and not just lucky plays.
Who was
I
usually
mean,
the first? Steven's usually at
Steven.
first.
Steven moved to third.
Oh, so did
So
Steven
Steven
lose
might
the
have
job?
stole his son's job. It's interesting. Steven actually played a pretty good third. But,
He did it for a couple of innings last year, actually, in the World Series. We know we could do it because he's got great hands. So Steven went to third.
Ruby
Very
Shabar
interesting.
made an over-shoulder catch and a bloop down the right field line, which was absolutely amazing. So the first game was a great game. Avi Dweck was in left.
Must have held his own as well.
Yeah, and he made a
scores.
big play on Malak with the bases loaded, the deep fly ball. He went back and he caught it. The first game, Z-Pack held on for a 3-2.
Who was their center fielder?
Victory.
Center
Teddy
field.
was in
Teddy?
right. No, Teddy was in right.
So they had a center fielder, also obviously not the regular center fielder, with Jake Dweck also not available. Either way, you have to know having Naby on the mound makes we spoke about. The defense has a little bit of an easier job.
Oh, yeah, Jake Dweck.
Oh, Jake was there?
Yeah.
Oh, he was there. So they had their all-star
Yeah.
center fielder was there. You know what? You got to give him tip of a cap. I know it's Naby and he's great, but to hold on 3-2,
No, the defense was amazing.
that's good for them. Very strong.
But again, there was a few balls that went hard. Ali struggled on the day mightily. He a couple of times he came up with the bases loaded. One of them, he scorched a line drive that Ruby Shabar stabbed, stabbing. But
And
two
the
other
other
times,
ones?
back to the box.
So again, it's against Naby.
Yeah,
But he's your guy. You want him to come through, you're saying, over there. Game 2 now. The other part of the story you got to talk about is we much maligned. You got to start really giving him his due. Jimmy Malach.
Listen. I said from the beginning of the year, I said the guy, all he's got to do is, get into the groove and learn how
to give him credit.
pitch.
Week 1, he was a disaster. People
Yeah.
were saying. Week 2, he got a little bit better. This is his third week. He's only progressing.
Yeah.
So it just makes it. You got to imagine he's going to get better and better.
He's going to be great. I mean,
And-
eventually, then every week he's going to get better once he gets the rhythm.
And he's learning how to pitch.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you what I love
I
about
don't
what
think
he's doing.
He walked that many.
That's great. But what he's doing that I like a lot, and you see him doing it, and he's talking to people, is exactly that. He's talking to people who pitched. He'll go over to Ali. He'll go to Ike Bavora. He'll go over to A.B. Saka. He'll talk to anybody who pitched and gather information. And he's not being thick-headed about it. He's learning, and you see it. He's getting better and better.
Yeah, and if he gets the mental part, wipes out all the things he hears on the sidelines, doesn't get caught up in all the stuff, he'll be very dominated because he throws hard. I mean,
Throws hard.
they were both throwing very, very hard.
Hey, he got through Maurice Haber's week.
Yeah.
That was his toughest week. Maybe that's part of it. But yeah, you're right. The chirping's there, but as their team gets better, he'll build more confidence. So it's a big plus on them. Again, they were missing a player or two as well. The A's are
They're
not
missing
really.
Ralph Matute. I think
Okay,
he's really
good
the
player.
only one.
So-
Very good, a very important part of the team. But they have a great team. They really have a great lineup.
But they have to be walking away a little upset getting that split.
Oh, for sure.
So-
The Z-Pack has got to be on
Right.
cloud nine with
The two
that.
teams that are happy this week more than ever is obviously the Ducks we spoke about and the Z-Pack team. They
I
dodged
mean, the
the bullet.
Z-Pack, they could have easily been 2-4, which would have been,
They were doing the rain dance and
Oh.
they didn't get it, and they still pulled out a win. So good for them.
And let's a quote from Naby. He said, "I have permission to say it on the air. They are not losing another game the rest of the year."
I didn't want to hear that. I think I play them next, but hopefully I could do something about that. Now, the last matchup happens to be
All
my
right, so
own.
let's shoot over to Coors Field as it's been
Yes,
called.
okay. So now we know there's been a lot of complaints about this
This is
field.
Raw
and
versus
Raw against Dem Bums.
Them Bums.
This Dem Bums team. First, I want to give a refuah shlema. It was a quick scare. Jacobati's son had to get stitches. All was fine
Yeah.
from what I heard. Thank God. There was a little bit of a scare early, but thank God all's good. Refuah shlema. Hope he's doing great. So the doctor wasn't there, Dr. Batty, which is something I want to lead to. Jacobati is one heck of a ball player.
Yeah, we
Okay.
know that.
And we'll never doubt it. And he has streaky times. He's had years where his numbers aren't what they should be. You know,
Right.
you think, oh, Jackie should be better than that. Whether he's antsy at the plate sometimes, I don't know. Whatever he ate this past Shabbat, coming to the field, holy cow! Maybe he plays better without his dad there. I was like, maybe his father should stay in the parking lot.
I think he had a lot of seared tuna the night before.
Oh my goodness! Or if he didn't have it then, he had it during the game, because his first at bat he hit a shot, and the second at second, every ball off his bat was a shot. His one out, I think, was a ridiculous web jump by Svivolinski. Made a crazy play up the middle to get him out. He was on fire. Now their team was on fire before we could even blink our eyes. We were down like 6-0. We got blitzed. And there were shots. Tuna's on my team. I made the trade for him. He'll be the first. He called me up. He got hit. Okay. Do we make a few errors here and there? It's softball. Yeah, we did. The trees, Coors Field, as you mentioned, it does take part. The balls are flying out. Jeffrey, before the game, went on a rant about how he doesn't want gold balls anymore. We're going to be playing with gold balls, and that's what it is. And again, like Bobby said, when all the pitchers are playing well and everything's in line, it's not a big difference. If you want safety, do what a lot of other pitchers do. We wear the mask. But we got hit hard and we lost. Jeffrey pitched well, game one. I mean, I don't think he had much to do because they were out to such a big lead. But we had Michael Solomon turned into vintage Michael. He got Mount Saban almost fully erupted, and there wasn't really much good to our team in game one. Game two, we tried to regroup, which we did. We sat down. We never pulled Tuna. He kept pitching. Maybe we should have pulled him. I don't know. Game two, we went down early, man. We went down 10-1. So it was not pretty. It was not pretty at all.
Yeah, it was very bleak for us.
Oh, my goodness. Easy sweep. They were walking away. This is where I got to give my team a lot of credit. We have a team of really good character. As much as guys were chirping and guys were getting angry, nobody quit. Nobody gave up an at-bat. I have a really good lineup, and that was the thing I was most impressed. Every guy came up, used their at-bat. And you think Jeffrey in the fourth inning, up 10-2, they're going to walk through a win. Blink your eyes, it's 10-up.
Right.
So we made a really nice comeback. We had an inning or two. Salim had some big hits. Mo Kassin had some big hits. Svivolinski, the man could hit. Every guy chipped in. Joe Greenberg, Elliott Sack, everybody chipped in. So to come back and tie it up after really everybody in the whole stadium thought we're getting swept, including ourselves. We're like, oh, my goodness, we tied it up. Look what we are. Extra innings, we lost it. But I do want to come back to one key play that I don't even want to repeat. I tried to erase it, but just doing the show. We had first and third, one out with our team's best hitter up, and I would still 100 out of 100 times want him at the plate, Michael Solomon. And I don't know if it was an 0-1 count, 1-0 count. It was early in the count. He had a hard shot to Mark Braha. He didn't hit in the outfield. I know he wanted to. It's a hard 1 or 2 hopper to Mark Braha, who played a very good shortstop. Joe Greenberg, who's usually the best base runner on our team, froze at third instead of going on contact. I don't know if the coach said hold or not. I'm not quite sure. I was coaching first. They flipped to second for 1, got him in a rundown. He may have been safe. He may have been out. There was a lot of fighting on it. But bottom line, called double play. Potential go-ahead run in extra innings.
That was the top of the. It was top
of the 8th or top of the 9th. I don't recall.
Yeah, I saw that play. And
wow, that was painful.
Yeah, it was bad because also the throw home got by. I think Albert Levy was catching.
It did get by.
It got by him. But he stopped running.
Right. He did. If he kept running, they would have been safe. But again, I don't blame him there. My problem is if you go on contact and you get thrown out, it's not a double play. It's one man out. Mo Kassin, who's hot, on fire hitting, would have had a runner in scoring position.
I mean, really, a guy as fast as Joe Greenberg to get a force out at second and not
because he stopped. He stopped and he paused. Like I say, go on contact, make Mark Braha make a good throw. If he makes a good throw, you live another out. Mo Kassin's up and I'm on deck with first and second.
Or like I don't know why he didn't break the second to throw into the second. I don't think he could have thrown him out if once he saw the throw.
No, Mark saw him through the second.
Yeah,
and then the second baseman threw home.
Yeah, but if he broke the second he saw the ball go to second, I don't think he
didn't. Like he was.
Yeah, he didn't. He didn't.
It was a weird.
No way
sort of a brain fart.
I don't think he would have. Yeah.
Man, Joe was hot at the end of the game for a bunch of reasons, and I love the fire. I love that. I know some people got crazy, but I won with him last year, and he showed it plenty of times, and that's part of what brings the winning out of him. He hates to lose.
Right.
We all hate to lose. Some people hate to lose more. So it's only going to get him more pumped and more excited. Obviously, my team's going to have to, shore up our defense, whether it's on the mound or as a team. There's a lot to talk about, and we have been talking about it. And it's early in the season. Very rare in seasons, and we talk about it every year. Very rare the top teams end up winning it all. Last year happened to be aberrational. The 1 and the 2 seed ended up in the World Series.
Right.
It's usually not the case. Usually it's that team that gets hot. You got to figure things out. So we're 2-3. We're in the middle of everything, but we have to figure things out. I'm not going to say no. We have a great lineup, a good defense, and we just got to get together.
Really, if you look at the standings, you have 3 teams, I think, at 3-3. 2 teams at 2-3. So it's it's a bunch of stuff.
A lot of bunch of stuff. There's one bottom feeder and one high.
Yeah.
Right now. So, and we'll see the matchups. Who's playing who? So the league is where we usually like it. It's fun this way. Everybody's in and over. It's early, but still not as many high scores all over the fields. You had a 3-2 and a 3-2, a 2-0 game. So it looks like it's starting to get more regulated.
Yeah.
And that it's going to happen as pitchers get better. And we don't know if weather has to do with it, but we'll find out as we go.
So we mentioned the trading deadline coming up.
Yes.
Do you think there's going to be a lot of activity?
I don't. I really don't.
I mean, in the past, when Maurice Haber was captain,
it's very hard to make trades. But
12th round, first round.
I think because of the way, I think the trades were already done. The big blockbuster the Ducks made with myself, that was a big trade. Was there any other trades? Well, that's really it.
After the season started?
Yeah, after the season started already. I think that was really it. And we're the team in the middle of the pack with them that we're looking to shake things up. I don't see anything else happening simply because of the records. Right. I made my trade with that team.
Yeah.
Jack Abadi's team at 3-3 is a very happy 3-3 because they lost 2 against when they were depleted. So they think they're the best in the league. AB Saka's team is feeling great. Jack.
The Orioles
feel the best. So that's why I don't
also,
see.
they're really,
right, and the A's bounce back strong. Jimmy's pitching better and better.
And the truth is, every team has not been 100%, so you don't even know what you really have.
I'll tell you this: if there's going to be a trade done, my prediction, the A's would be involved. If there is a trade,
really,
if there's a trade, I would think it would be the A's because I could see them trying to tinker a little bit here and there. It's my prediction. If anything's done, maybe I'll be involved.
Yeah,
they didn't call me yet.
All right, so let's go to the Mother's Day matchup. As you know, Mother's Day, we always start an hour earlier. So
that's what.
8:15.
Hey, I was gonna say, is it 9 o'clock? 8:15 start? Really? That's what it is. It's called 8:15.
An hour earlier, so whatever.
Beautiful.
Start 9:15. It's 8:15.
Okay.
And if things go well, it might be like that the rest of the year. We'll see.
That'd be great. I think a lot of people are pushing for early start.
Yeah. Well, once it starts warming up, I can see getting away with it. I mean, it's and when people start coming down for the weekends. So we have have a doubleheader, and you also have a game on the 18th, the Friday game.
Right, that's coming the week after.
The week after that. So let's start with your matchup this week, and you have.
I know.
Happy Mother's Day.
A full Z-Pack.
Z-Pack
I've been looking forward to this matchup. I haven't ever faced personally. A lot of guys on my team haven't faced Navy, and he hasn't faced them because a lot of guys on my team were with him last year.
Maybe some guys could take him out Saturday night for some.
No, we're in the works. No, but looking forward to the matchup. You always, you want to beat the best.
Yeah.
That's always the way you want to do it. You don't want it any other way. I don't want to face them with the depleted squad.
Yeah. So now, as we mentioned, they're 100% this week.
A funny thing about this matchup is my pitcher, Ralph Tuna-Sutton, faced them already.
Oh, yeah, with his previous organization.
Right. So he split with them. He had a really bad game and then a pretty good game. So I don't know if that favors him or them. We'll find out. But he gets a chance, or they get a chance to see him again.
Right.
That's something you don't always see. I'm looking forward to seeing AB. Again, let's see what happens. I don't really have much to say. I can't predict my own matchup. I like their squad.
Raw, you got everybody coming this week.
Yes,
right?
I believe we have a full squad.
Both have full squads. You do have some great hitters in your team.
Yeah, he's got a challenge. We got a nice lineup.
I see a split here. I don't
know who else he faced this year. I don't recall. But I think we have a pretty good lineup. So he's going to have,
week 1 he went up against them bums. And
that's a good
crazy weather situation.
All right, that was a while. I think you throw that week out the window.
Yeah.
Not that he didn't pitch good, but the wind was
In
ridiculous.
week 2, he went against the Ducks, so it's probably the best lineup he's going to see.
Okay, so I'm looking to give him a big challenge. Our whole team is ready. We all. I heard the guys are going to the cages in the speed pitching. They're trying the speed pitch cage. Hopefully that'll help us.
I'll tell you one thing, man. He's nasty. He really is. I mean,
you got to wear your helmet. You got to be.
No,
ready.
he's just he's that dominating for
It's why he's the first pick overall, right?
So I think you guys are going to find a way to win one, and I think you're going to be very happy with getting that one.
Well, I'm hoping to get 2, and put our heads back up in the air and let everybody watch us. Look at us as a good team.
Another great matchup. I'm excited about this one. Them Bums versus the Orioles.
Oh, that's fun. That's fun. So
you have Max Chadid and Jeffrey Saka. And,
I have fun predicting this one because I played both teams. So I really have no skin in the game. I played them both.
So you got after this week, you got probably the 3 top teams out of the way.
Oh, I saw a lot of good teams. I saw the truth is, you're right. Them Bums and Orioles, look at them as really good. I could see them Bums winning too. I really could. And I know the Orioles are 5-1 and they got a great team. Jeffrey's going to have to pitch a little bit better. Now, I'm going to be honest. I saw Max Chadid and Jeffrey both not at their best.
Right.
I really did. Max Chadid, I heard pitch great yesterday, and Jeffrey had.
Maybe your lineup has something to do with it.
Okay, could be. Could be. We do have a pretty deep lineup, but I did see balls being hit hard against both those guys. But Jack Abadi's team, I think they're, as much as I was talking good about the Oriole lineup, Abadi's got a deep lineup. Solly Towel looked great.
Well, yeah, I mean, we love their team at the.
Saul Fallis, who we didn't talk about after the draft. And I know I ended up trading him because he wanted to play with his boys and all that. He could swing the bat.
Yeah, no, Saul Fallis.
He could hit, man. He's got a real bat.
A guy who mentioned had a big week last week was Sammy Towell.
Yeah, Sammy always finds his way on, goes the other way.
But he will not be here this week, so that's a big loss.
Really?
His way, yeah. So
and Farka had some nice hits also.
Farka had a grand slam this week.
A grand slam, but even his other hits, more important spots. The grand slam was more in garbage time, but he had some key hits. They have a real team. They really do. Solly Towell, their right fielder.
Solly S or N?
Solly S had a bad quad, so he was limping out there in right field. I hope he's okay. I mean, I don't, if it's.
Solly ended up getting a home run, right?
Solly ended a nice shot down the left field line. Yeah, rip.
And he's
real
playing
shot.
third.
Played a great third. He was probably their best defender. Him and Jack Abadi both made a lot of nice plays. He was probably the best defender that day. He got a lot of plays at third, and he played great. So, you know what? They got a full team. Maybe it's because the last team I saw, and I saw the Orioles, and I actually split with the Orioles, and I lost 2 to these guys. That could have to do with it. But I'm picking them Bums to win too.
I'm going to see the Orioles, Max. This is like probably the best,
It's the fun matchup.
Test. No, it definitely is. This is a real test for this team. I see where you're going with that, with them Bums coming off the thing. But I think the Orioles might have a little too much
firepower for Jeffrey
for a sweep, so I'm going to see them getting a split also.
Okay,
but a great matchup.
That's the fun matchup.
Very exciting. I think it's going to be a lot of runs split. I don't think it's going to be.
Okay, I could see that.
No double shutouts this week.
We'll find out what field it's on too. Later on, we'll find that out.
Yeah, that might be a feature field. And we'll talk about the ground rules. We might as well put it on the air now. So.
I want to just finish the future, and I'll just go to the ground rules.
Another great matchup is AB Saka's locked in versus Ali's A's.
Ooh, that should be fun. Jimmy versus
AB. Another real test for locked in.
Right, AB's going against the full squad team. Also,
full squad.
Right? He's got a real lineup to face.
This is a scary lineup, by the way.
Yeah.
You forget Nathan Zolta's on the team. I mean, this is
this is a scary lineup.
Or every guy's a
hitter. They're top 7, 8 hitters, and even
Matuda wasn't even there. It's
Oh, Matuda's missing. He'll be back.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is a nice test for AB Saka. This one, I mean, I can't say splits. I got to pick sweeps. I'm picking Ali to win too. I'm going to pick Ali to win too.
Wow.
And I'll tell you why. I think AB Saka's team as a whole might be a little bit. We split against that depleted Duck team, a little questioning themselves. And I think they're not going to be ready for Jimmy Malach. They might come and think Jimmy's going to walk the ballpark, and Jimmy's only getting better and better. So I'm going to give Ali the edge on this one. And if he does take 2, like I think, that puts locked into that middle category.
Oh, for sure. So now you're saying Nathan's going to play left field. What's their outfit going to look like now?
So it sounded to me, I could be wrong.
Norman's back now.
I could be wrong. Originally, Tobias was supposed to be their left fielder. But I heard through talks that Robert Tobias looked phenomenal at third.
Uh-huh.
And he might be their third baseman going forward, which puts Nathan Towell in left and Bub Jamal, who's been playing great, in right.
Bub actually left early. I think he left before game 2.
So maybe they put Sid out there.
Which last week
right.
I'm saying was.
But Bub, I'm imagining
well,
he'll be there
he's
2
playing
games.
amazing.
Yeah, he's playing great.
Yeah.
And Jamie Dweck, who hasn't really gotten tested much yet in center, only going to be better and better. Crazy athlete. So I think that's their outfield and that's their infield setup. They got a good field. Could you question Nathan in left? Because he's over 50, maybe he's not going to get them
for
as
2
many
games.
goals.
I mean, that's
Right,
a
that's what
major
it is, 2
position.
games. But nobody reads the ball off the bat better
No.
than Nathan. It's amazing. Like, as you know, you could say he's not half as fast as half these guys, but he makes up for it with good reads.
Right.
It does help out tremendously. And A.B. Sack is on the mound. There's not missiles being hit all the time, which also makes it a little bit easier for your outfield. So with all that, they have a good team. But like I said, Allie's got to line up. I'm giving Allie the nod this week. I love
That's
picking.
a tough one. No,
I have to pick sweeps. That's my rule.
Well, Lockton will be in big trouble if they lose to this.
Yeah, well, not trouble.
Not
They'll
trouble,
be
but you know.
4 and 3. They're still over 500, and they have a sweep on people. So not trouble, but back to the pack if that's what happens.
Yeah, but the rest of the schedule is pretty
intense,
scary.
Yeah,
actually, they still have the rain hours against Navy,
Right.
and they have the Orioles and you guys.
Right, there's a nice lineups to go against.
I see a split in this game. I think AB always finds a way to win.
Yeah.
Moshe, let's not mention it. Actually, I do want to mention it because it really goes to show how players play with passion in this league. Mo Shama had a fever almost 103.
Yeah, I saw they took a picture of the temperature. You saw it?
I mean, if that's not dedication, I don't know what a guy can barely stand up.
We call him the legend for a reason.
Yeah,
he's one of the best shortstops, if not the best.
That was a major thing. He was not 100%, not even close to being 100%.
Very true. That's on defense. He saves runs more than anybody when he's playing.
So between him and AB, I think they'll find a way to win the game. So
it's fair enough. But I'm saying regular season, I'm giving that other team the edge. Yeah. We have one more matchup.
All right, one more matchup. It's the Ducks of Sonny Shalom and AB Cohen versus the Indians.
This is great. So the Ducks now, the newly Ducks. You can call them the newly formed Ducks, getting Irwin back. Wow. So if the Indians don't come up over here, they're dead, right?
I honestly, I was telling somebody today, this is like the perfect time for the Indians. I think the perfect team to really
face.
Get into it. Not a crazy lineup. It's going to explode.
It's funny. A.B. Cohen, you don't want to call the Ducks exactly the guys he played with, but a lot of them. He has Sonny, who he's played with for the last 2 years. Jackie Zolta, who's been his personal catcher for the last 2 years. Anybody else on that squad? It's really just those two. It could be just those two. But I hear you. Before the season, they were saying this Ducks team was the team that was light offensively. We could be wrong. They've been scoring now. But
I just like it's Leo. I mean, they have a guy that can hit. They have, I think if there's a team like they.
Right, he's saying Leo might come not pitch as well as he did last week.
I mean, listen, if you're coming in 0-5 and Navy's on
it's a little rough. Right, I hear that. Right,
there's like a shot here, like to find a way
to
win one. You win the first game. Who knows how pumped you are? You come out and take a 7-0 lead the second game. I don't know.
So I have to pick a sweep because that's what I do, and I'm going to be ultra rude over here. I'm going with the Ducks riding high. I think the Ducks are going to take 2. And you know why? If they take the first game, that Indian team's definitely going to be down. I mean, they're going to be rough down. But if there's going to be another, the Indians got to come out with that first win.
Oh, for sure.
I mean, otherwise, you could close the door. I hate to say it. We want everybody in it, and everybody's in it to win it. But I'm going to give the Ducks the nod. I'm imagining you're going to go with the Indians, and it's the easier. the better.
I don't know. I don't know. I mean, really,
this will be the first time all season the Indians have a full squad. That's big.
Yes.
First time all season. Billy Miz was missing. Mo Mala was missing. This is it.
Yeah.
Everybody's here. So I think that's the first thing. This is the first thing Jack Jamal says in the huddle. Boys, we never played as the Indians. This is the Indians.
It's a very valid point.
Yeah,
you're talking about your first and third round pick. I mean,
missing always
for the first 2 weeks.
Right, and Billy Miz is not a low pick. He was taken third or fourth round. So this is their first time with their full squad. So if anybody's going to see the real Indians, it's the Ducks.
Yeah.
So I give them that. You know what? I'm starting. I never give splits, so I'm going to say split now. The more I'm thinking about it, I got to go split. But if I had to say split,
Okay, but I will say
say
this. But I will say this. I agree with you on this. If the Indians lose game one,
oh,
they'll lose
forget
game
it.
two.
They're losing game 2. 100%. And I think you have to keep a shackle to A.B. Cohen on the mound because he might be trying to go make Menachia Gala if he loses game 1. So whatever. I'm just now he's a gamer and he's in it to win it, but you're going 0-6 to start a season and things that just haven't. And it's also the way you could lose. You know, I mean, you don't want to get demoralized. You don't want to. It's I don't know. It's actually a fun matchup. I wish them luck. We want competitive balance in the league. We love it that way. And the way things happen sometimes is tough. But
I mean, the Ducks got to be looking at their chops.
oh, they're looking heavy. And they're 2-3. They're right in the middle. If they take 2 and they go above 500, they feel like heroes.
But it's funny. I mean, it's crazy. If they lose to, the Indians are ahead of them.
Wow, you put it that way. That's incredible.
Right? I mean, they're ahead of them.
2-6. There'd be technically numbers ahead of them because of
with their sweep
game, right?
Yeah.
Wow. So it's really a big week for the Indians.
It's a huge week. It's a very big. They still have a makeup game to go. So.
Right. So it's really, really for them. It's their season. It's not the Duck season. It's the Indian season.
No, the Ducks.
Right. Ducks. You have 2 wins early like this. You're okay. You're not in a bad spot. But the Indians got to be, they got to be focused and ready to roll. Sure, they will be. Now, Bobby wanted to mention we have officially announced all captains. Please alert! Fireman's Field Playground. There's that bush that's all the way in deep left field.
By the way, Kenny O'Donnell knows this rule also, so he is on board with this.
He's on it.
Yeah, so
I mean, there's been talk. I've heard 12 different opinions on what he said, what she said, what Kenny said, what Troy said, what AB said, what Sonny said. Nobody knew. Everybody was in the bathroom at a different time. Bottom line is, and it's the betterment of the league, I believe, and I think most people agreed. The ball is in that spot on the left field line. It's all you can get.
Fireman's Playground, we're talking about.
Fireman's Playground. Go run and get the ball. And I'm going to say, Jack Abadi and I on Dow Avenue, Coors Field, we're calling it, right? We made a rule together. We both agreed. Everything you could get when it's in play, go get it. And why do we do this? With experience of playing in the league, and Bobby, have seen it all. We've seen dogs in the field. We've seen old ladies walking, doing hula hoops in the middle, crazy stuff. Let's keep the job of the umpires as simple as possible, and let's take judgment calls away. Because I was right there, the left fielder kicked the ball in the tree. I see half the ball, but he says he didn't see it. No.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like it's the ivy back there. It's like it's almost cut down.
And by the way, in defense to the offensive team, it's a damn good shot.
It's a shot.
You hit the ball down there most of the time, even if I'm running from
even if it's a line drive, that's not like
it's a shot.
It's by the time you get the guy's going to get the third minimum.
Get the ball. Exactly. You don't need the fast guy. Joe Greenberg doesn't have to be the one to hit the ball to get a triple on that. An average runner could get a triple, and especially runners on base. That's when it hurt the most. Runner on first. Guy hits that ball in the bush.
Yeah, and
they go to ground rule double, gets a third, and it's a big spot with 2 outs.
No,
it's really not fair. So I think,
this is like our feature field for playoff World Series. They have to have this rule.
So everything is in play. You can pick it out of the bush and throw the guy out at third. People say it should be a double. Yeah, it should be a double. Get the ball and throw him out at third. Yeah. Everybody's saying it should be a double, so get him out. He's going for 3. Pick up the ball and get him out.
There's no such thing.
You know what I mean? That's for sure.
So now, and what about if it like those trees that are hanging?
Right. So if it hits a leaf, it's a foul ball. That's what they said. If it hits a tree that's hanging in play, which hasn't really happened, I think they really cleared it up for the most part. I think if it hits a branch, it's a foul ball, and you hear it's a branch, they call it a foul ball. That was the rule we always had.
Oh, okay. So
on that Dow Avenue, we actually got creative, and the reason
you played last week.
I played last week, going with all the trees and left. People make fun of this, but I could say I've seen over hundreds of games on that field. We just said it to make it simple. If the ball hits a tree and the guy catches it, it's an out.
Right.
People go, that's the stupidest thing I ever heard. Let me see it get done. Let me see a guy catch the ball off the tree. Then tell me it's the stupidest thing. And why we say it, because I have seen the ball hit a leaf and the guy catches the ball. And then there's a world war. I would have caught it. I wouldn't have caught it. It changed the ball and he caught it. You know what? If the ball goes in the guy's glove, discussion's over. Ball scored. We're not going to see pinball machines happen and the guy catches the ball. It doesn't happen. Do me a favor. So that's what we did, Jack and I. We agreed on that.
Okay. Really, the other 2 fields, Fireman's East, I don't think there's any issues with that. It's pretty clear cut.
The only issues we had there, if you really want to get technical, last year, at one point we made the line from the
because it was,
dugout straight,
yeah.
or do you want to make everything in play? And I could see both sides. Like Stephen Batesh, we made everything in play for one inning, and he ran in to go get a foul ball, and he almost, lost his face because he almost ran into the gate.
Oh, yeah.
So then we just said make it straight down. So the committee, I don't know if they want to talk about
But what
that.
about the other one with the street? The first
Right,
base?
that was another thing. That one for sure was the line straight down,
Right.
because you don't want a guy running with
Right,
cleats
right.
into the street and he could tear his ACL, God forbid. So for the most part, those dugout lines are straight down, and the referee, or the umpire as we call him, has to see the
Right,
line.
right.
As we've been playing all these years.
And the other Dow really doesn't have any issues. I think
Not
it's
much. We
pretty
make the
good.
line straight to a tree, which is more than
Yeah.
enough.
And then the truth is, even though they shot in left center, that's a shot.
That's a
man.
shot. I mean, anybody could complain.
I mean, there's a lot of guys who could do it, but that's a shot.
Dow Avenue, the one that I played on,
Yeah.
I hear the argument.
Yeah.
Center field is a ditch. At one point, Joe Greenberg looked like mini-me because he was playing in the ditch and you only saw his hip up. But the other Dow, no issues at all. That ball's
Right.
the only guy I think I've seen hit it over the last 2 years was Ralph Hannon. Hit
Over
a
the-
ball over in that the Dow where Jimmy Malach played. I forgot, not the one closer to the entrance. But Dow Avenue, Coors Field, if guys want to figure something out, I don't know. I'm pleading the fifth. I
Yeah.
know people don't want to play there so badly.
Yeah, well, we're not going to see that after the regular season ends.
That's true. So
Could
it help records one way or the other? I mean, I played there.
It could pad the offensive stats.
Definitely could pad stats. The line that I kept saying, because guys on my own team were having trouble with it, it's the same field both ways.
Yeah, it's not. Yeah, of course.
It's not cool,
Teams
and
get
you
it.
don't want it. There was some balls that you'd say, if I was at Fireman's Field, would have been a camped under fly ball. Yeah, I'd agree. I'd say that both ways. My team hit some shots that I think maybe would have been caught also, in our comeback. But it's a tough field. It's a little tougher field. I'm not going to deny it.
Stanton had a couple of shots that would have been off the wall in Fenway. I mean, you can't really.
If that's we're going to call it Coors Field. That's what it is.
Listen, that's
That's the field we're playing on. It happens to be a beautiful area, but if that's the field we're playing on, we're calling it Coors. I like it. Coors Field without the condensed ball.
yeah, exactly. Different issues with the ball.
That's
But anyway, this week Mother's Day, as we mentioned, so it's
early
a very
start.
early start, very exciting week, and I guess next week when we come back, we'll see if any trades were made, and we're going to start seeing now. We're going to come down to the last few weeks of the season.
Right, so
teams are going to be.
I think Jimmy Malach said team photos this week.
Oh,
I think he said that. I think everybody come. He's going to have the phones ready if can, because no trades starting this Sunday, right?
oh yeah.
So it'll be your real squad. That's why we didn't do it before. That's
It's
Jimmy.
funny. Tuna wanted a shirt with Raw on it. The way you pitch, I'm not waiting for. I'm waiting for the trade deadline.
Oh, I didn't give him a shirt yet. No, I'm kidding. Man, I'm kidding. And it doesn't fit the whatever. So let's see. There could be trades.
Guys like Saul Anconi go broke every time they get traded.
That's right.
Shirts.
Or sometimes he gets a lot of shirts. He keeps the one and he gets the other.
Yeah.
He might have a full shirt.
So we're gonna see exciting week once again, and the temperature doesn't look too warm again, like 58.
It's fine. When it's not raining, it's gorgeous. It was not. Last week was fine. That was nice. Looking forward. Should be a lot of fun. Can't wait. My team's chomping at the bit. I'm sure everybody else is. This is like now we're in the middle. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
This is like right in the middle of the race. Everybody should be.
But it's exciting now because everybody has a full squad now.
That's
so,
true too.
That's like
This is the first week.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah.
Wow. First week, everybody with full teams.
It's funny. I saw a couple of captains were mentioning it's too hard to get 12 in. Maybe go to 11 plays.
Are they kidding? We had a team with 8. We had a team with 8.
Getting RB off the waiver
Right.
wire into Phil.
Nah, it is.
I don't think you get less than 12. I think it's
And for the most part, sometimes it gets tough, but that's what the captain's job is. We got to
Yeah.
get everybody. They have 3 or 4 at bats, sneak everybody in the field, and try to put your best field out there at the same time. But that's part of the job. And like you said, guys are missing all the time,
All the time.
unfortunately.
So,
Looking forward. Team.
All right.
Another reason for team photos. Everybody's going to be there.
yeah, that's
good.
another reason. So,
So,
we look forward to seeing everybody and see you out there Sunday. And
Can't
next
wait.
week back on the air.
Good luck. May the best guy win.